The massive legal shield Angelina Jolie built around her private life just shattered under the weight of a $35 million lawsuit that is changing everything we thought we knew about the Brangelina collapse. For years, the public has been fed a very specific narrative of a victimized mother protecting her children from a volatile Hollywood heavyweight. But recent court orders from late December 2025 and early January 2026 suggest the reality behind the scenes was a calculated business war designed to bleed Brad Pitt dry. According to a ruling from the Los Angeles Superior Court on December 17, 2025, a judge has officially ordered Angelina Jolie to hand over a massive cache of unredacted private communications that she has spent years trying to hide. This isn't just a procedural hiccup, it is the moment the receipts finally catch up to the PR spin. The common belief held by millions is that Angelina sold her stake in their 50-50 French winery, Chateau Miraval, to escape a toxic environment and secure her financial independence. We were told she was forced into a corner because Brad allegedly demanded a restrictive non-disclosure agreement to cover up his past behavior. But the superior reality surfacing in these new filings suggest a far more aggressive financial play. Per reports from People in the Economic Times in late 2025, Pitt's legal team has successfully argued that Angelina's sale to a Russian oligarch's wine division was a deliberate act of malice intended to sabotage the business Brad built from the ground up. In this deep dive, we are answering the three big questions everyone is asking. Why did the judge finally force Angelina to reveal her private messages? How much did the mystery buyer actually pay to help her spite Brad? And what do these leaked emails prove about her true motives? We have mapped the timelines and pulled the filings to show you exactly how this $60 million empire became a weapon of mass destruction. To understand how we got here, we have to look at the documents filed on October 29, 2025, where Brad Pitt is officially seeking exactly $35 million in damages, specifically for the harm caused to Miraval's ongoing operations. This brings us to our first major revelation, which is actually the most shocking piece of the puzzle after the initial split. While the world was focused on the heartbreaking custody battle over their 6 children, a parallel war was being fought over the guest list and the balance sheets. Per a November 2023 email exchange recently entered into evidence, Jolie's own lawyers admitted the production of these documents would be incredibly burdensome because they likely reveal the direct coordination between her team and the Jolie Group long before the sale was ever made public. The payout here is simple but devastating. The court now suspects that Angelina didn't just sell her shares because she was tired. She allegedly sold them to the one person she knew Brad could never work with, as a way to maintain control over him even after the marriage ended. The timeline of these events is crucial because it reveals a pattern of behavior that contradicts the public persona Angelina has maintained. According to a source close to the case, speaking with People magazine in late December 2025, Pitt's team believes the upcoming unredacted emails will prove that Jolie has been disingenuous since the very start regarding her intentions. If you look at the records from 2021, Angelina initially reached out to Brad about a buyout, but the deal fell through. She claimed it was because of his demand for an NDA, yet the new evidence suggests she was already in deep negotiations with Yuri Scheffler and the Jolie Group, while still pretending to negotiate with Brad. This kind of double dealing is what led the judge to grant the motion to compel discovery on December 17th. It was a massive blow delivered just one day before Brad's 62nd birthday, and it signaled that the court is no longer buying the victim narrative without seeing the underlying data. Moving into the top-tier shocker, which is the true nature of those 22 specific documents, for the last several years, Angelina has claimed attorney-client privilege to keep these messages secret, but on December 17th, Judge Leah Martin ruled that these were non-attorney communications that must be turned over within 45 days. This means by February 2026, Brad Pitt's team will have access to her private conversations with business managers, PR consultants, and the various middlemen involved in the $67 million sale to the Jolie Group. This isn't just about the money, It's about proving a conspiracy to damage Brad's reputation and his primary business interest. Per the Daily Mail, the ruling specifically targets communications from a February 14, 2025 privilege log that Jolie's team fought tooth and nail to keep hidden. The third major pillar of this drama involves the heavy cost of silence and the hypocrisy of the NDA argument. Angelina's team has consistently argued that Brad refused to buy her out unless she signed an NDA that would silence her about the infamous 2016 private jet incident. However, per court documents from earlier in 2024, the judge had already ordered Jolie to produce 8 years' worth of NDAs she had asked other people to sign. This was a massive blow to her credibility because it suggested that NDAs were a standard part of her own business practice, while she was simultaneously painting them as a tool of abuse when used by Brad. The payout here is clear. The legal tide has turned because the court is looking at the history of her own business dealings, which suggests that her refusal to sign Brad's NDA was a strategic choice to keep her options open for future public attacks. As we look at the broader timeline, we see that while the divorce was technically finalized in December 2024, the vitriol has only increased throughout 2025 and into early 2026. According to an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Angelina claimed she only stayed in Los Angeles because she had to be near Brad for the sake of the children, but expressed a deep desire to leave what she called a toxic environment as soon as her youngest twins turn 18 in the summer of 2026. But even as she plans her escape to Europe or Cambodia, Brad is doubling down on the financial front. Per the filing from late 2025, he is now demanding records from Jolie Group employees in Switzerland to prove they conspired with Angelina to act with malice against his interests. The receipts don't lie, and the money trail is getting clearer by the day. According to the late 2025 updates, Brad's team is using the fact that Angelina dropped her own FBI lawsuit on the Department of Justice in September 2024 as proof that the abuse allegations were being used as leverage in the winery fight rather than a pursuit of criminal justice. By dropping that case with prejudice, she can never file it again, which Brad supporters claim is the ultimate sign that the narrative was crumbling under the pressure of actual discovery. The final reinforcement here is that this isn't just about a vineyard anymore. It's about the total collapse of a carefully crafted public image that has defined the last decade of celebrity news. What makes this $35 million claim so dangerous for Angelina is that it targets the ongoing operations of Niraval. Per court documents, Pitt claims that since the Jolie Group entered the picture, they have attempted a hostile takeover of the brand, trying to force him into a partnership with a company he never agreed to work with. He alleges that Angelina knew this would happen and specifically chose the Jolie Group because of their aggressive reputation. This is where the expert PR strategists weigh in. They point out that for years, Angelina was seen as the moral compass of the family, but the court-ordered release of these emails suggests a level of corporate sabotage that feels more like a thriller than a domestic dispute. If those emails show her discussing how to devalue the brand to hurt Brad's wallet, it will be nearly impossible for her to recover her standing as a humanitarian first and a business person second. The expert legal experts suggest that the next few months will be the most transparent in the history of this case. By mid-February 2026, the unredacted documents will be in the hands of Brad's lawyers. This means we are likely to see more leaks and more filings that detail the exact moment Angelina decided to go nuclear. According to a source familiar with the case, the Jolie-affiliated entity has been avoiding depositions with what the court called baseless objections, but the judge's recent ruling has stripped away that protection as well. We are now looking at a full-scale audit of the sale process, and every text message sent during those critical months in 2021 is now fair game for the trial, which is currently scheduled for 2027. In summary, the latest legal victories for Brad Pitt have stripped away the layers of privacy Angelina used to control the narrative for nearly a decade. From the $35 million damage claim to the forced handover of secret emails, the The walls are closing in on the version of the story we were sold in 2016. The insider takeaway is that in the world of A-list divorce, the most dangerous weapon isn't a headline, it's the paper trail you leave behind when you think no one is looking. Angelina's strategy of using the plane incident as a shield against business discovery has finally failed in the eyes of the Los Angeles Superior Court. As we move toward the 2027 trial date, every move Brad makes is designed to reinforce the idea that he was the one building while she was the one destroying. Per the Economic Times, the judge's decision to order these 22 documents unredacted is one of the most significant procedural wins for Pitt since the lawsuit began in 2022. It proves that the privilege defense has its limits, especially when millions of dollars and a global brand are at stake. The narrative shift is palpable. What started as a story of a family in crisis has evolved into a story of a business partner seeking justice for a betrayal that was both personal and financial. To see how this fits into the even bigger playbook of Hollywood power moves and how other stars are using these same tactics to win their own wars, you need to watch our fresh celebrity playlist right now. We have documented every step of this winery war, from the first filing to this latest $35 million bombshell, and it is the only way to understand the full scope of the drama currently reshaping the industry. The information coming out in 2026 is the final piece of a puzzle that started 10 years ago, and the Fresh Celebrity playlist is your essential guide to seeing the bigger picture before the rest of the world catches up. Don't get left behind on the old narrative when the new receipts are right here. Wait until you see how these emails connect back to the original 2016 investigation. The layers of this story are deep, and as the unredacted files come to light, we are finding that the truth is often much colder than the fiction. Brad Pitt's 62nd birthday present from the court might just be the thing that finally ends this 10-year war once and for all. Stick with us as we track every document dump and every court appearance in the coming months. Because if there is one thing we have learned from the Brangelina saga, it is that the real story is always in the fine print.